Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Dominic from Dominic Talks Movies. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, and I'm going to be kind of starting a little podcast on my channel. So this episode won't be like a full episode, but my podcast is mostly going to be just talking about movies, TV, that sort of stuff. And I'll be also answering some questions if I get any from my friends, from people on videos in the comment section, and just like on Instagram or something. And yeah, so we're just going to be talking about movies, talking about like what I like about a movie, what I don't like about a movie. We'll talk about new releases when they come out, and all that sort of stuff. So if that sounds like something that would interest you, definitely leave a like on this video, comment down below to let me know, and subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss when I upload those videos. Anyways, with that being said, we're going to get right into a few questions so you guys can kind of see what it's going to be like. So first up, we got, what is your favorite movie of all time? I've actually said this numerous times on my channel. If you have been subscribed to my channel for a while now, you definitely know that my favorite movie of all time is Fantastic Mr. Fox, directed by Wes Anderson. I just love this movie. I'm not going to say too much about it because A, I've said it a million times on my channel and other videos, and B, I also have a full video essay about why it's my favorite film ever. So if you want to hear more in depth about why this is my favorite movie, definitely go check this video out. I'm going to have it linked up here in the top right. And then next up we got, is there a type of filmmaking that you think is underrated? So yes, absolutely. There are two that I want to talk about. First one being animation. I'd say most people that are above the age of 18 are like pretty ignorant to the fact that animation isn't just for like little kids. They do primarily appeal to kids, sure, I'll give them that, but lots of studios, in my opinion, most notably is Pixar and Studio Ghibli. They actually make amazing, just straight films that have deep-rooted themes and just amazing storytelling that appeals to adults as well. So if you're someone that is hesitant to watch animation, I definitely recommend like going back and checking something out from either Pixar or Studio Ghibli. If you guys want, I could leave some recommendations down in the pinned comment for some films that you could check out. And yeah, and then next, we also have what I think is the single most underrated type of filmmaking out there, and that is foreign films. Now, so many people, like, it's not even close in my opinion. This is the most underrated type of filmmaking. One of my favorite directors of all time, if you guys are old subscribers here, you know, is Jacques Tati. He is a French filmmaker who obviously makes his movies in French. And it's just, people are like intimidated to watch these movies because they have to read subtitles or because it's in a language that they don't speak fluently, right? And I mean, sure, you're not going to be able to like listen to what they say and know what they're saying. But reading subtitles isn't that hard, and most of the time these films are like absolutely amazing. Like Jacques Tati makes some of the best like just straight like scripts and like just amazing movies I've like ever seen. They're just so amazing. I don't know, it's crazy to me how people just completely ignore a part of filmmaking that is like a huge part of film in general just because they have to read some subtitles. I don't know. I personally think there are an abundance of amazing foreign films that if you don't want to read subtitles, you're missing out on tons of awesome movies. So yeah, that is definitely by far my most underrated genre of film is foreign films. Now next up, from one of my friends, he says, what is your favorite movie from each decade starting in the 50s? So in the 50s, there's only one that I could really think of, which is Vertigo, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. And to be honest, that is a great movie. It's a classic, definitely one of Hitchcock's best films in my opinion. And yeah, it's just amazing. 60s, I have a lot of choices. I could go with Psycho, I could go with Planet of the Apes, Or what I'm gonna go with is Playtime, which is directed by Jacques Tati, who I said earlier. And this is, in my opinion, his best film. It was released in '67, I believe. And it's just amazing. The thing about this film is, sure, you could watch it on its own, but I would highly recommend watching all of his other films before it. There's only three films? Yeah, there's only 3 films before it. So you really only have to watch 4 films, and then you get one of my personal favorite films of all time. So, yeah. In the 70s, I'm gonna go with Rocky, just so I can stay somewhat unique. But if, I'm just gonna say now, my favorite film from the 80s is Empire Strikes Back. But in the 70s, I would have gone with A New Hope, but I don't want it all to be Star Wars. 70s goes to Rocky. I still love that movie. It's a great film. Only see it once, but it's all good. It's really amazing. And then 80s, Empire Strikes Back, one of my favorite films of all time. Star Wars is definitely one of my top franchises, and it is the best of that franchise, in my opinion. Check out my Star Wars ranking up above. I don't know which corner it's going to be in, but my Star Wars ranking, I'm going to link it up there. And yeah, just go check that one out. The 90s. This one was pretty close between Pulp Fiction and Shawshank Redemption, but I have to go with Pulp Fiction. It is in my top 5 films of all time. Quentin Tarantino is in my top 5 directors of all time, and this is my personal favorite of his films. I just love this movie so much. The dialogue is obviously amazing. You can actually see the poster right here. Yeah, there you go. This is just a film. I adore this film. It's amazing. And yeah. Next up, we got the 2000s. And for this one, I'm going with, obviously, Fantastic Mr. Fox, because it is my favorite film of all time. I don't know how I couldn't have it here. It's my favorite ever. This was probably the most competitive decade for me, in my opinion, because there are so many amazing films like Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, The Dark Knight, and even a few more. And these are some of my favorite films of all time, but Fantastic Mr. Fox is my favorite, so that's why it is in first. And then for the 2010s, I'm going to go with Whiplash. There was a few films that were in the competition for this one, and most notably the closest was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. But I actually also watched Lady Bird 2 days ago or a day ago. I really love that film, but Whiplash is just absolutely amazing, and it's got to take the 2010s for me. Last question of the day, I have, who do you think is the most exciting director working today? And for this, you might have guessed, I'm going to say Wes Anderson. He's the one that directed Fantastic Mr. Fox, as well as a bunch of other amazing films like Grand Budapest Hotel, Royal Tenenbaums, and a few others that you might have heard of. And I just personally think over time his films just keep getting better. Obviously, with the exception that Fantastic Mr. Fox is my favorite of his, even though he's released 3 films after it, I think. I think Moonrise Kingdom, Grand Budapest Hotel, and Isle of Dogs all got released after it. But besides Fantastic Mr. Fox, I think his work just keeps getting better. And his style is just amazing, keeps getting better. His storytelling is getting better. So he's kind of learning how to build a story around his unique style, and they're becoming more cohesive stories, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I'm just really excited. The French Dispatch is coming out hopefully this year. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed. But yeah, that is my most anticipated film of all of 2020 because he's my favorite director, definitely working today. One of my favorite directors of all time. And yeah, so my most exciting director working today, I'll have to go with Wes Anderson. So that is going to do it for this pilot episode of my podcast. Very lightly using that term. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing this one. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want full podcasts, let me know down in the comment section. I'd be really happy. Honestly, I would love to do a podcast. It would be a new challenge, but it would be really fun to make, I think. And yeah, so if you enjoyed, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel for new videos every single day. And that's it for me, guys. I'll see you in the next one.